Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of ExcelR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Want to get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. ExcelR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with ExcelR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if ExcelR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concepts. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with ExcelR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank ExcelR for being a part of it.
Good evening, all. I hope I am audible. Roshit sir, is I audible?
Yes, Sushant, you're audible.
Sir, please take over the cursor.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
So very good evening, students. I'm audible. Are you with me? Can I get a quick heads up in the chat box? Okay, okay. So I see the strength is a bit less. Can you ask your friends to join fast so that we can start the session? Can you share the session link or can you remind your friends to join fast so that we can start in next 2 minutes? Very quick. Sound is rising. Great. Voice is not. Is it fine now? Is my voice clear now? Is my voice is audible now? Okay, okay. So I'm getting an S for clear, right? Okay, okay, sure. Thank you, guys. So let me share up my screen. In the meantime, please ask your friends to join fast. Okay. Sharing up the screen. So where we have started yesterday, guys? Where we have stopped yesterday? Can I get a quick recap of yesterday's session in the chat box? Okay, encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism. Good, good, great. Concepts of hoops. Great. Hoops principles, right? Yeah. So can anyone tell me what is hoops? Why hoops is required? Why we need to go to hoops rather than procedure-oriented programming? Why we require hoops specifically? Okay, okay. Can I get a quick answer? Reusable code, right? Don't read, not don't repeat yourself. Right, correct, Komal. Don't repeat yourself. It works on try principle, right? Try principle, right? Any other answers, guys? Okay, okay. Any other answers? Any other answers? So an object-oriented system that organizes software around objects. Yes, that holds your data and methods. So can I write a OOPS program without class and object? Is it possible? Can I write a OOPS program without class and object? Is it possible? No, right? Then why class and object are needed? Can you answer why class and object are needed? Why class and object are needed? Yes. Yes, these are the constructs of your OOPS program. If you wanted to write the OOPS program, definitely you require a class and an object, right? So what is a class? What is a class? Good, good. What is a class? Yes, what is a class? Yes, it is a collection of variables and methods. Great, great, great. So how many types of variables are there? How many categories of variables or types of variables that were there? Three. Yes, yes, yes. So there are no global variables actually. Those are called as instance, static, and local variables. No global variables in Java. Right, right, right. Okay. Then how to call your instance variables? How many ways are there to access your instance variables? How many ways are there to access your instance variables? How many ways? Yes, two ways. Good, good, common. Two ways, object and object reference, right? Then for your static variables, how many ways are there? Four ways, right? Yes, good, good, Sanya. So many ways, directly, class name, object reference, right? Yes, yes. Then local variables, how many ways are there? Access local variables, how many ways are there? Local variable, where you should be writing your local variable? Where you should be writing your local variable? Where you should be writing your local variable inside a method, right, right, right. So, like how to call your local variable? How many ways are there to access? Only one way, that is directly, that too inside the method. Yes, clear. So how many are done with assignment of yesterday's? All completed, sir. How many are there? Can I get a quick response in the chat box? Completed, sir. Can I get a quick response in the chat box? How many have completed your assignment? Like I have given you a couple of assignments, right? Like two challenges, one on OOPS, one on OOPS. I have done it in the class itself. Then one on your variables and methods, one student marks that percentage calculation. And then two problems I have given, two logical problems I have given. And then I've also given assignment on some library management system kind of, right? Okay, completed, Rutu. Great, great. Any others who completed the assignment? Okay. So make sure you're completing your assignment, guys. That will be a good practice on the concepts. Okay, that will give a good understanding on your concepts. Okay. So okay. Little bit error yeah. If you are getting any error or if you're not able to find out, I can help you out. In the last, you can just put it in the chat box. I'll be able to help you. Okay. You can put that error in the chat box. I'll be able to help that as well. Okay. So on that note, let's jump on to the day 3 agenda of today. Okay. So in the first hour until 8 o'clock maximum, we'll discuss these all concepts on data structures, collections, then exception handling, multi-threading. Then in the second hour, we'll jump into the databases, SQL, JDBC, and servlets. Okay. So this will be the agenda for today's class. Okay. So with no delay, no further delay, let's start up the session quickly. So very good evening, guys. Once again, a lot of energy. Very good evening, students, everyone. Yes, can we start the session now? So where did I get this notes, sir? Like I have posted the notes in the GitHub link. I will again share that GitHub link multiple times during the session as well. You can directly get it up. Okay. So the first concept for the day, that is data structures. So can I get a quick response? Like what is a data structure? What is a data structure? Can I get a quick heads up on what is a data structure? Yes. A way of organizing data items. Good, good. Any other answers? Organization of data. Okay, okay. So basically, what is a data structure? Yes. So where we are organizing the data basically. So you have your first data structure, right? That is array. So how you will organize the data in the case of your array? How you will organize the data in the case of your array? In a sequence format, right? So in a sequence, contiguous locations will be organized in the data, right? Of similar data elements. Only one data type element you can put it up. Great, great. So only one data type element, right? So if you are considering an array as int, how you will declare the array in the case of your Java? You'll be writing your first data type, then square braces, then you'll give some name to your array is equal to new int. So array is an object, so you'll be declaring like this. Then you'll be giving your size of your array. Suppose the size is 30, you'll be giving the size. Yes. Now how much size will be allocated for this? So 30 boxes will be allocated, right? 30 locations, 30 memory locations will be allocated. So in that 30 memory locations, and what is the data now? 30 into integer occupies 4 bytes. So total how many bytes of memory will be allocated? It will be allocating 120 bytes of memory, right? 120 bytes of memory, right? So it will basically allocate your 120 bytes of memory, right? So in array, the data in the case of your RAM, where you'll be storing your data basically in the RAM only, right? So in the RAM, there will be a contiguous allocation of memory in the case of your array. So then coming to your data structure, the first data structure is array itself, the organizing of your data in the memory, right? So I'll be sharing the GitHub link. Array in the sense contiguous memory allocation, right? So why we need data structures basically? Why we need data structures? Why we require the data structures? So why we require the data structures? So basically to manage your data or to organize the data, I require your data structure, right? So suppose if you take your books, like from your first to 10th class or first to your BTech, you have clumsed your books, like somewhere you have put. Suppose I wanted to get a second year book. Then you need to search for each and every book, right? You need to search. Sorry, my network is unstable. There is a power cut here because of rain. So let me share my screen again. Okay. So suppose if you wanted to. So if you are getting your second year, like you need to search for each and every book, right? Like if it is a you wanted to like if you wanted to get your second year BTech book, then you need to start from if it is clumsy, if it is not organized, then definitely you need to search for each and every book. You need to search all the books that are there in books. Suppose there are 100 books in the room, you need to search for each and every book in the room, right? So 100 books you need to search. So that is not possible, right? You know that organize because of unorganizing of your data, you're searching for each and every book. You're searching for each and every book. So that is not possible, right? So suppose if you have organized your books, then definitely it will be easy for you, right? If you wanted to get second year, you will go to the second year shelf and you will suppose you have organized first year bookshelf, second year bookshelf, and third year bookshelf. Suppose if you wanted to go to second year book itself, then you will touch only the second year books, not third year or first year books, right? So the data will be organized. So in the same way in application terms also, if you're organizing data in the efficient way, I can access the data efficiently and I can retrieve the data as well effectively, right? So that is a main advantage of your data structures. So basically in data structures are divided into two categories, linear and non-linear data structures. Okay, linear and non-linear data structures. So in the case of linear data structures, there are like, so what are linear, guys? Linear in the sense they are arranged in the form of a sequential format. Okay, they are arranged in the form of a sequential format. Okay, so in the case of linear data structures, there were like multiple data structures. So that first one is your list. Okay, that is nothing but your linked list. So first one I've already discussed, that is array. Okay, so then linked list. In the case of linked list, so the data will be arranged in the form of a nodes. Okay, so first one is divided in each node is divided into two parts. First one is data part, second one is address part. Okay, address of the next node. So they are connected like this. Suppose if I'm storing like this 10, this is address, it is connected to the second node, like a train bogie format, it will be connected. So then that is connected to other node. Then this is pointing to null. Okay, so what is happening here? In the case of linked list, they are connected in the form of a like this is nothing but your which type of linked list case is this is nothing but your singly linked list. Okay, so the first node is connected to the second node. Suppose this node address is some 1010. This node address is some 2010. So what I can do means I can organize the data like it somewhere like the data need not to be organized contiguously. The data need not to be there contiguously like your array. So the main advantage is I can organize the data at any place that I want. So see here at 1010, I've organized the second the data, and at the third data I've organized it at 2010. The very next data I can organize it 10,010 or 30,010. At any point of data, like I can organize it randomly. I can organize it not contiguously. I need not to, the data should not be there contiguously. The data can be there anywhere. So that is the use of your singly linked list. Then doubly linked list in the sense. So what is meant by doubly linked list, guys? So here there will be only one connection, whereas in doubly linked list, each node is divided into three parts. Okay, so the previous part, the previous address part. So they are linked each other. In the same way, we have a circular linked list, circular singly linked list, circular doubly linked list. So can I get a quick response? What is circular singly linked list or circular doubly linked list? So in the case of singly linked list or doubly linked list, the first node will be pointing to null and the last node will be pointing to null. Where in the case of circular linked list or circular doubly linked list, the last node will be connected to the first node. Okay, so am I audible, guys? Am I clear until this point? Yes. So this is nothing but your linked list. Then the next data structure is stack. Then the next data structure is stack. So stacks works how it gets. Stack works how? It works on LIFO principle, last in, first out. So the one which you are inserting, will be inserted at the first position. If you wanted to retrieve, the last element will be retrieved. So once you are inserting, it will be in the first position, and while you are deleting it, the last element will come, and the first element will be coming in the last position. Okay, either it follows last in first out or first in last out. So insertion operation is called as push operation. Deletion operation is called as pop operation. Okay, then we have our queue, like your movie queue or your movie ticket queue or train ticket queue. So how it works, what is the principle? So FIFO principle, first in, first out. The one which is inserted at the first will be deleted first. The one which is inserted the last will be deleted last. Okay, so it will be there like this. So your push operation is called as NQ operation, like pop operation is called as your deletion or DQ operation. Okay, so this is nothing but your queue. So these are your linear data structures, whereas non-linear data structures, these are your major linear data structures, whereas non-linear data structures, there will be trees and graphs. Okay, trees and graphs. Okay, so trees, how the data will be arranged? It will be arranged in a hierarchical fashion. Okay, so there will be arranged, there will be nodes, the nodes will be connected, like multiple nodes I can connect to one node. So that is nothing but your tree. Whereas in the case of graph, it will be connected in a graph format, like it will be connecting, like the nodes will be connected, and these are nothing but your vertices, and these are nothing but your edges. So this is nothing but a non-linear in an hierarchical fashion. Okay. So now why I have discussed this, if you ask me why I have discussed this data structures concept, means we have a concept called collections. We have a concept called collections. Okay. Yeah. It's like a chat GPT, or you can consider your Facebook posts or Instagram posts. So one profile will have multiple posts. Who is like extrovert, they will be keeping multiple posts, right? Like in the case of your introvert profile, they'll be having only one or no posts, right? So we cannot predict who is introvert or who is extrovert. So in that case also, these trees and trees will be helping up. Okay, these trees for posts I will be helping up, and whereas like connections, those connections are your maps will come under your maps app, will be based upon your graphs. Okay, so collections. So next concept, that is collections. So why I've discussed this data structure means in the case of C++, if you consider in the case of C++, these data structures you need to only implement. From starting, you need to implement linked list code. That implementation code you need to only write. Whereas stack also you need to only implement from starting, and you need to only insert the data. So implementation, everything for trees, graphs, stacks, linked list, for everything you need to implement by your side itself if you go with C++ or C. But in the case of Java, it is not required to like go with the directly write the implementation code. Directly the implementation code will be available in the library itself. Directly you need to take the class, you need to create an object of the class, you can access those methods, and you can insert the data, you can delete the data, you can perform all the operations that you are performing on the data structure. That is insertion, deletion, updation. So all the CRUD operations, the you can retrieve also, reading operation also can perform. So all the CRUD operations you can perform directly. You can directly insert the data. You can use the data structure. So the implementation will be readily available in the case of your Java. So which concept is helping? That means the collections concept. The data structures implementation you need not to do. You need not to worry also. All the data structures implementation will be readily available in the case of your collections. Okay, so basically collection framework. So only we'll call it as collection framework. So only we'll call it as collection framework. Okay, so since the implementation is already available, readily available, I will call it as a framework. So the one which is the code is readily available, or a ready-made code, I will call that as framework. So collection framework, in the sense the data structure implementation code will be readily available. You need to take that all the specific class what you wanted to use. You need to use linked list, or you wanted to use tree set or HashMap or linked asset. What you wanted to use, you can directly get that class, you can import that class, and you can create the object of that class, and you can use all the utility methods. Okay, so this collection framework is part of your which package in Java? If you ask me, this collection framework is part of your java.util package. Okay, java.util.star. All the collections are part of this java.util package. Okay, you need to import this java.util package, and then you can use all the classes that were there. Okay, so if you can see the collection hierarchy here, like can I get a quick heads up that if you're able to see the image? Yes. Yes. So on the top class of your collection framework is iterable interface. So all these red color ones, what were there, red color boxes, those are nothing but your interfaces in the library of java.util. And these green color ones are nothing but your implementation classes for these interfaces. Okay, so interface in the sense it gives a structure or what structure we can give for the implementation, we provide for the implementation. The structure will be given by the interface. So all the utility methods which are common for list, queue, set, all these methods were present inside these interfaces, and there were like implementation classes. Okay, so the first class is array list. Then, like if you can see, the top class of your collection framework, the top interface of your collection framework is iterable interface, and then all the collections are part of collection interface. Okay, then we have less, queue, set, deck, and sorted set. These are nothing but your interfaces. And if you talk about the implementation classes, array list, linked list, vector, stack. These are all implementation classes of list interface. Then queue interface, implementation class is priority queue. And for deck, the implementation class is array deck. Then for set, we have implementation class asset, linked asset. Then for sorted set, we have the tree set. Okay, so majorly we have 7 implementation classes here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in total. This vector and stack are nothing but same like your array list only. These are your legacy classes. Okay, legacy in the sense they are there from JDK 1.0 onwards, but whereas this collection framework is introduced from JDK 1.2. Okay, but this vector and stack are there from JDK 1.0 onwards. So these are considered now as legacy classes. Okay, so coming to your let's go into the implementation classes. So in total there were like 7 implementation classes. In total there were like 7 implementation. This is all theory, guys. Afterwards you can read it up. Okay, so in total there were like 7 implementation classes. So array list, linked list, array deck, priority queue, tree set, asset, linked asset. Okay, so array list, linked list, array deck, priority queue, tree set, asset, linked asset. The first class is array list. Array list is same like an array only, guys. The backend data structure they have implemented is dynamic array data structure. Okay, the backend data structure they have implemented in the library, in the code, what they have implemented means dynamic array data structure, and it implements your list interface. Okay, so in array list, I can store, in the case of array, you can store only one data type element, but in the case of array list, you can store heterogeneous type. So one element can be like one object can be uh, one object can be string, the other object can be, the other element can be integer, the other element can be character. Like that, you can store multiple data type elements in the case of your array list, and it retains order of insertion while you're printing also how you have inserted, like that only it will give the output. And it is based on indexed approach. You can access the array list using index as well, and duplicates are allowed in the case of your array list. And so index based approach is not recommended, because shifting here you need to do shifting. Suppose if I remove like suppose the like first index element if you wanted to remove, then what will happen is I need to shift all the elements right to the front. So in that case this array list is not recommended. Okay, so if you can go to the program, just what you need to do, you need to so what you need to do, you need to just so basically, you need to import first java.util package. Okay, java.util.arraylist package. Okay, since arraylist is part of your util package. Suppose if you wanted to see all the methods also, you can directly go to your command prompt. Okay, you can directly go to the command prompt. You can type you can directly go to the command prompt. You can type you can type directly Java P. If you wanted to see all the methods that are present inside your array list, you can directly type Java P java.util.arraylist in your command prompt. You'll get all the methods that were present inside your array list. Okay, so these are all the methods that were present inside your array list. Okay, you can use all the methods directly by creating the object of this array list, and the same applies. Like if it is a static method, you can directly call it up, but if there is an instance method, so you need to definitely call it object or object reference, right, by creating the object of this class or object reference, right, as we discussed yesterday. So for that, what I am doing here, like I'm creating an object of array list class. Okay, then I'm adding up all the elements. You need to use add method to add up all the elements. Okay, then then I'm printing that array list. So once I print the array list, I will get all the elements here. Okay, then I'm creating another array list here. I'm adding up all the elements here. Okay, so if you can see the output here until this point. So if you can see the output here. So see, like the order of insertion will also be maintained. So you have inserted 12 here. So you're getting the first element as 12. You have inserted next ExcelR, you're getting the ExcelR as output. You have inserted the character B, you're getting B as output, and 25.5. Like that, in the same order how you have inserted, like that you will get the output. Then I'm creating another array list here. I'm creating another array list here. Then again I'm executing this code. Then you see the another array list is created in the same order of insertion it is maintaining. You can add the duplicates as well. Like if you wanted to add the duplicates, you can add the duplicates as well. Okay. So suppose if I'm adding again 10 here. Okay. Suppose if you are adding again 10 here, you can still add that up, and duplicates are also allowed. Duplicates are also allowed. And if you wanted to add from one array list to another list, suppose I wanted to club this array list, the first array list and the second array list, if I wanted to club, you can use or any other collection. If you wanted to add from one collection to another collection, you can use this method here, add all method. Okay, add all method. These are all predefined methods, guys. Like suppose if you are able to see AR dot, these are all the methods that were present. Okay, so these are all predefined methods. These are present in the library itself. You can directly use it up. Okay, so if you can see add all method, it will add one collection into another collection. Like that, there are like another methods as well out there. Suppose if you can see contains method will return true if that object is present or if that element is present. Basically, this array list is a class, so we'll not call it as elements. The data present inside the array list or collection, will not call it as elements. We'll call it as objects. Okay, so we will be storing the objects there. Okay, then if you wanted to retrieve a particular index at get to like a particular index at second position or third position, if you wanted to retrieve an object, I will go with the get method. Okay, then if you wanted to get the class of that array list, you can go with the get class method. Then if you wanted to set some particular capacity for it, before itself I want this particular space or capacity for it, I can go with this ensure capacity method. Okay, then size method will give you like your length, array dot length of you will use, it will give the length of your array list. And trim to size will be retrieving like how much the elements are there, that much size only it will retrieve. Okay, so if you can see the library as well here in the command prompt, so if you can see these are all your array lists, these are all your constructors of your array list for creation of the object. Then we have your trim to size and ensure capacity. So then size will give the length of the array. Is empty means whether the particular I can check whether the array list is empty or not through this method. It will return me true or false boolean. So then contains method will check whether that particular object is present or not. Then index of method will check where will give the particular index of that object. Then last index, like that all the methods were there. Okay, if you know these methods directly, you can use it up directly. Okay, so this is nothing but your array list. Okay, so then linked list. So linked list is same like your array list itself, but the thing is the backend data structure is it will implement doubly linked list. Okay, the backend data structure they have implemented is doubly linked list. The whole difference are same. It will also allow duplicates. It will also, we can also retrieve directly. We can also retrieve, we can all like it will also allow duplicates. We can also follow the index. It will also follow the index based approach axis, and it is recommended here. And the order of insertion is also maintained here. Okay, so all the things are same. So add, like the same add method we'll be using, and we have a specific method as well, add first add last methods here. So to add in the first position I can use add first, to add at the last position I can use, that is not there in the array list, that is only present inside the linked list. Then add all method from one collection to another collection. See here, this is an array list. I'm adding array list to linked list. I can do this using the add all method. From one collection to another collection I can add it up. So these are all like, they were like two methods are there, add and offer. This they will ask in the interview, what is the difference between the add and offer. So add in the sense, if you're adding the element, definitely it will add. Where in the case of offer, in the sense, it may or may not add based on the memory availability. It may or may not add. So there is a difference between the add and offer. So add in the sense, it will definitely add into the collection. If the memory is not there also, it will compress that memory and it will add it up. But in the case of offer, it may or may not add. Okay, so that is a difference between the add and offer. So all the methods you can again see here. You can directly create the object of that linked list. New linked list is called the new linked list. You can directly create the object and you can see all the methods case. You can see all the methods here and you can use all the methods that you want. Okay, so in the case of your linked list. Okay, then we have our array deck. Then we have our array deck. So if you can see the array deck, so the linked list theory also I have told, I'm already done. Then I'm going with the array deck. So in the case of array deck, the backend data structure is double-ended queue data structure. Okay, so it implements the queue interface, deck interface basically. So it will follow the queue data structure. Okay, so here duplicates are allowed, but index-based hashing is not allowed, guys, because in the case of queue, we will either insert at the rear end and we'll delete from the front end, right? So because of that, index-based hashing is not allowed. Order of insertion is maintained. Null values are not allowed. In the case of array list and linked list, null values are allowed, but in the case of array deck, null values are not allowed. Okay, so the same program is written here. You can see it up all the methods. Okay, then priority queue. In the case of priority queue, the backend data structure it will follow is minimum heap data structure. Okay, in the case of priority queue, the priority element, based on the priority, we can also insert the elements. The most highest priority element will be readily available at the front end. Okay, so here also duplicates are allowed, but in the case of queue, null values are not allowed. Okay, so contiguous memory allocation will be there. Okay, then coming to your tree set. So in the case of tree set, the backend data structure is balanced binary search tree data structure. And why we use tree sets means specifically in the case of set. So in the case of set, duplicates are not allowed. Okay, in the case of set, duplicates are not allowed. Okay, in the case of set, duplicates are not allowed. So why I'm rushing up means, Priyanka, those are all same concepts, like linked list, array list, those are all same concepts. The duplicates are allowed, duplicates are not allowed. So the thing is, the theory will be almost same for every collection. But the thing is, you need to perform you need to search for methods and you need to do it from your side. So I'm explaining just the concept here. Like you can, based on this concept, you can directly, this notes will also be readily available to you. Okay, so this tree set, in the case of set, duplicates are not allowed. Okay, so basically in the set, duplicates are not allowed. In the case of queue, null values are not allowed, but in the case of set, duplicates are not allowed. Okay, so it is based on the balanced binary search tree data structure. Okay, so how it will retrieve the order means, in order traversal it will retrieve. So the best case to use the tree set means, if you wanted to get the output, in sorted order, you can go with the tree set. Okay, I will show the demo as well. So see here, tree set. I'm creating an object of tree set. Okay, I'm creating an object of tree set. I've added all these elements 100, 50, 150, 25, 75, 125, 175. Okay, now if you see the output, so the same method, add method I'm using. Okay, the same method, add method I'm using. Now if you see the output, you're getting in the sorted order. See how I've inserted the element. I've inserted 150, 150 like that. I've inserted rather randomly, but how I'm getting the output? I'm getting the output in the case of the sorted order. Okay, are you clear with this tree set? So majorly when we go with tree sets means when the duplicates are not allowed. So in the case of tree set, duplicates are not allowed. Okay, in the case of tree set, duplicates are not allowed. And when you should go with tree set means when you wanted to get the output or when you wanted to sort something, you can go with the, in your logic, when you wanted to sort something, you can go with the tree set. Clear until this point, guys? So array list, linked list, array deck, priority queue, and tree set. Okay. So then next one is as set. This also implements the set interface itself. Okay, this also implements the set interface itself. But the thing is, backend it is implemented by hashing data structure. This is so important, guys. Like once I will explain this up on this. So if you can see in the case of as set and linked as set, these both are defined based on the hashing algorithm. Okay, these both are defined based on the hashing algorithm. Okay, so they will ask in the interview, how does this hashing algorithm works? Okay, how does this hashing algorithm works? Okay, so basically this hashing algorithm, how does it work means, suppose if you are inserting the element, some 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, suppose you are inserting these elements. So every time you insert the data, there will be a backend data structure that it follows is hash table. Okay, this is nothing but your hash table. So in this hash table, you will have multiple buckets. So each part, I will call it as bucket. Okay, multiple buckets. So each part, this is called as a bucket, this is called as bucket, this is called as one bucket, this is called as one bucket. Okay, so now what will happen means, so in one bucket, I can store only one data. Okay, in one bucket, I can store only one data. Remember this point, yes, in one bucket, I can store only one data and there will be index for each bucket. That only I will call it as hash index. Okay, this index only I will call it as hash index. Okay, there will be index for each bucket. This index only I will call it as hash index. Okay, then once you give the data to your hash function, once you give the data will be first to move into one hash function. Okay, the data will be first to move into one hash function. Okay, so this is nothing but a hash table. Hash table contains hash buckets, basically buckets. In one bucket, I can store only one data, and each bucket will be having a hash index. Okay, then once you are inserting the data, suppose you are calling HashSet.add of 10. Immediately, once you are giving this function, backend, this data will be going to hash function first. Okay, in the hash function is like a formula, guys. One formula will be set it up here. We can also set the formula by ourselves, but in the implementation itself, there will be a formula set. They will be setting it up. Okay, so basically, what is the formula? Suppose I'm taking a simple formula like this. The formula will be set it up. So hash function is like a formula. Determine which index it should set. Okay, so data percentile by number of buckets, the total number of buckets. The total number of buckets is 5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the hash table. So it will be set it up like this. So hash function, in the case of hash function, there will be one formula will be there. So hash function is nothing but a formula. Based on this hash function, the index will be generated. Index of the bucket. Okay. Then if you see here, I'm adding 10 here. Okay. So now what will happen? 10 percentile by 5. What is the output? This 10 percentile by 5. What is the answer? 10 percentile by 5. What is the answer? Can I get the answer? Quick answer. 10 percentile by 5. It is 0. Right? Great. So at this index, now immediately once this index is generated, this is nothing but your index of your bucket, guys. So immediately once it is generated, the data will be moving here and will be inserted at this position. So what will happen at this particular index, at this particular bucket, 10 will be inserted. Okay, 10 will be inserted. Okay, then I'm inserting 11. Then again, what will happen? 11 percentile by 5, which is nothing but 1. At this particular index, 11 will be inserted. Then like that, 12 percentile by 5. At second index, this will be inserted. Then 13 will be inserted. Then 14 will be inserted. Okay. Now I wanted to insert 15. I wanted to insert 15. So can you tell me what is the index it will be generating when I wanted to insert 15? I wanted to add hs.add of 15. I wanted to add this 15. So what will happen? 15 percentile by 5. 15 percentile by 5. How much, guys? 15 percentile by 5. It is 0. Right? Remainder, right? Remainder is 0. Right? Percentile means it will predict the remainder. Right? So it is, if it is slash means it will predict the quotient, whereas modulus operator will predict remainder. So 5 percentile by 15 is nothing but 0 modulo operator. So it will generate 0. So what will happen at this particular index? So what will happen? What I have told you guys, at one bucket I can only store one data. I have told you, right? At one bucket I can store only one data. I have told you. But now what is happening? Again the 15 came. It is looking for 0th bucket only. But at 0th bucket 10 is already occupied. 10 is this 10 is already occupied. This 10 is already occupied. So what will happen? Now it will result in collision. It will result in collision. It will result in collision. So immediately it will result in collision. So we need to resolve the collision as well. There are two techniques to resolve the collision, basically hash collision. So first one is linked collision. I can do linked list. I can insert a linked list resolve. I can insert a linked list at the bucket. The second one is another hash function I can go with. I can go with the another hash function as. Okay, another hash function I can do. Again, another formula I will take it up. And from that formula, I can predict another index other than 0. Where it is, where it will give another index, some 10 or 11 or 12, like that I can do another index, another formula I will take it. Otherwise, I can provide a linked list here. So now what I will be doing for this collision, I will take one linked list here. I will take one linked list here. Then immediately what I will be doing, I will take the linked list. So here, in the case of linked list, I will construct a linked list here. Okay, here I will be pushing up the 10. Then again, I will be placing up the 50. This linked list reference, I will be putting up here. This LL reference, I will be putting up here. So like that, I can resolve the collision also. Okay, so clear until this point, guys. Clear until this point, how to resolve the collision or how to insert the hash function, how to predict the hash function index, like how it is working. So first, when you're inserting the data will be given to the hash function based on the value that it is generating. That is nothing but your index. So based on the index in the hash table, the data will be inserted. So in one bucket, in the hash table, in one bucket, I can only store one data. So for that reason, when I wanted to store multiple data in one bucket, there will be a collision happening. For that collision, I can resolve either through linked list or I can give another hash function to resolve the collision. So clear until this point, guys? Clear until this point? Can I get a quick heads up? Clear until this point? Yes. So they will ask in the interview how hashing works or how internal HashSet, how internal working of HashSet will be work. What is the internal working of your HashSet or internal working of your linked HashSet? They will ask, or what is hashing or how does hashing algorithm works? So please be very clear. So hashing algorithm works based on the hash function and hash table. Hash function will generate the index based on the given data, and based on the index what it is generated by the hash function, it will be inserted in the hash table. So one bucket of contains only one data. To resolve when I wanted to insert multiple data, it results in collision. And to resolve the collision, I need to either follow linked list data structure, or I need to give another hash function. It will generate another index. So until this point, clear, guys? Yes, right. So in the case of HashSet as well, in the case of HashSet, so it follows it follows hash table. In the backend, it will follow hashing algorithm. Okay, backend data structure is hashing. So basically, in HashSet, duplicates are not allowed. Okay, duplicates are not allowed. In the case of set, since it is a set, duplicates are not allowed. Insertion order is not maintained in the case of your asset, but whereas in the case of linked asset, insertion order is maintained. Okay, so if you can see here, in the case of HashSet as well, I'm inserting 121, 100, 200, 20, 12. Then if you can see, if you can run this program, see 100, 20, 200, 121, 12. So how it is printing up? So it is printing randomly, right? Like random order it is printing. Suppose if you execute again, it will print in a random order, right? Insertion order is not maintained. But where in the case of if you go with the linked asset, if you go with the linked asset, in the case of asset, I'm writing linked asset. Okay, you can see this program now. Once I execute this, in the case of asset, we did not get the order, right? But in the case of linked asset, you will get the order. You will get the order. See, the same order you will get the we have inserted, because the backend data structure it follows is linked list data structure it will follow. So because of that, the order is maintained as the insertion order is maintained. So clear until this point, guys? Clear until this point? Yes. Can I get a quick heads up? Yes. So this is nothing but a 7 implementation classes that are part of your collection interface. Okay. Then we have our legacy classes as well. So legacy classes, we have our vector and stack. So these are the where from your JDK 1.0 onwards. So vector is equal to array list. All the functionality is same like your array list only, but it is a legacy class. Okay, the same applies to your vector as well. Then stack follows LIFO data structure. We have the stack as well. You can use push, pop, and peek. Push is used for insertion. Pop is used for deletion. Peek is used for getting the top element of your stack. Then empty will provide whether the elements are there or not inside your stack, and such operation will search the particular object inside your stack. So these are nothing but your legacy classes. And then how to iterate, sir? How to iterate over your collection, sir? If you ask me, then I will go here, iteration program. So there are like 3 ways of printing your collection elements. If you wanted to iterate, either using for loop or like that, if you wanted to iterate, you can go with the 3 ways of insertion. Suppose if you are seeing here, I've added all the elements here. Okay. Now I wanted to iterate. I wanted to print by myself. I don't want to use like this. Until now, what I've done, guys, I've used this thing, right? I've used it like this, AL. For printing the reference, all the elements I'm getting. But I don't want to do this. I wanted to retrieve by myself. So in that case, there are 3 ways are there, guys. First one is for loop. You can directly go with the for loop. Okay. Using the index int I, since it's suppose index based hashing, you can go with the for loop. Okay. Array list and linked list supports index based hashing, right? So because of that reason, you can go with the for loop as well. So for I is equal to 0, I less than AL dot size, I plus plus, you can print every element based on the index. AL dot get of I means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like this, it will be printed. Okay, this is using your for loop. Okay, then we have the for each loop as well. This is a shorthand notation of your for loop. This for enhanced for loop or for each loop will print from starting to last as well. Starting to last only, it will not print in the, we cannot retrieve based on the index. Okay, from starting to last only you can print it up. We cannot start from middle as well. That is a disadvantage with the for each loop. So what is you need to give the reference, you need to give that particular data type. So every data type inside your element is nothing but your whatever inserting you inserted in the collection. Every data type is object itself. So the data type reference, you can view it up and then you can print it up accordingly. This is using your for each loop. Until this point clear, guys, using for and for each loop. Yes. Clear until this point? So the thing is, using for loop, you can print out the elements. So if it is supporting index-based approach, using for loop, you can print out the elements. And you can also use the for each loop. So for each loop, basically how you can write means, so you'll be writing the first reference here. Okay, in the case of for each loop, for arrays and collections, you can use the for each loop as well. But the thing is, it will retrieve from starting to ending. It will read from starting to ending. It will print from starting to ending. Okay, so inside the collection, every data, like for every element, the data type, the primary data type is object itself. So you're writing object here. Okay, object type, and then you are printing up the elements. So whatever you wanted to write, you can print it up directly. You are printing that report. So like this, you can print it up the for each loop using the for each loop as well. Okay, using the for each loop as well. So basically, Simba Prasad, like every collection, basically inside an array, all the elements are called as, I will call it as array. Based on the data type, we will see. So if it is, if you're inserting integer, I will call it as integer array. But in the case, if you're inserting string, I will call it as string array. But in the case of collection, I will call all the elements as object type itself. Object type itself. So because of that reason, I'm taking the object reference. Okay, because of that reason, I'm taking the object reference. Okay, so this is using the for each loop. And specifically for collection, there is a third way is also there, using iterator. Using iterator also, you can iterate over your elements, over your objects, basically. Okay, so first what you need to do, you need to call iterator method. Okay, this iterator method will be giving iterator reference. In that iterator reference, you will have this as next method, next method. Okay, so as next method means whether elements are there or not, it will check. So suppose as next method will be pointing, like we go and explain here. So basically, this iterator, what it will do means, suppose if you are inserting like these elements, 10 ExcelR, T, then 15, then 20, if you are inserting here, the pointer will be pointing initially to this point. And then as next method, what it will do means whether the element is present or not, it will check. If it is present, then it will move the, then it will return me true. Then based on that value, I can iterate, and then next method, what it will do means it will move the pointer. So initially the pointer will be pointing before the object. And then if I call the next method, the pointer will be pointing here, and then I can print up that element 10. Then next, as next again, it will print up whether that object is present or not, it will check. And then next method will be iterating to the next object. Then as next method, again, it will check whether that object is present or not. If it is present, it will return me true. Then next method will be moving the pointer. Then again, as next method will check whether the object is present or not. Then next method will move the pointer. Then again, it will check whether the element is present or not, it will return true. And the next method will be moving the pointer to the next object. Then again, if you see as next, now it is null, nothing elements or nothing objects were there. In this case, it will return me false. Then if it is false, I should not move because it will result me in null. Okay, null pointer exception will get it up. So I should not move. So because of that reason only, I have written this logic. So since I wanted to iterate over all the elements, I'm using the while loop. Then itr.i is next. This means nothing but in this interface, this method is there. As next method will check whether the object is present or not, it will check. And next method will move that pointer, it will print it up accordingly. Okay. So this is nothing but your iterator, using the iterator. I need to call the iterator interface. I need to call the iterator method inside your array list. And then this iterator method will be returning me iterator interface. Then using the while loop, I need to iterate over it. As next method will check whether the objects are there or not, whether the next object is there or not. And the next method will be moving the pointer to the next element. Okay. Then next, list iterator. So in the case of iterator, you can only move in the forward direction. You can only move in the forward direction. But if you are going with the list iterator, you can move in backward direction as. You can move in backward or reverse direction as. Means you can print it in the reverse order as. You can print in the reverse order as well. In the case of your list iterator. Okay. So list iterator, al.list iterator. I need to give the size of your array list. I need to give the size of your array list. Okay, I need to give the size of your array list, and then as previous means it will start from the last, from Hyderabad. It will start from Hyderabad, then ExcelR, then 500, 400, like that. It will return in the reverse order. List iterator. Clear until this point? Yes, clear until this point. Then like I will execute this program once. If you can see on the console, like I'm executing for the first time using for loop, using for each loop. Okay, then using iterator, using list iterator, I'm executing it up. Okay, then using descending iterator also I can execute it up. Descending iterator in the sense, this will arrange the elements in the form of descending order. Okay, you can also go with the descending iterator as well. Okay, so I hope you are clear with these things. Yes. So this is nothing but a iteration in your collection. Okay. So then we have our hash map. Then we have your map interface. So in the case of map, how the elements will be arranged, guys? Do you know about map? So map is not part of a collection. It is present separately. Okay. It is present separately. It is not part of a collection. So in the case of map, in the case of map, the elements are present as a key value pair. As a key value pair. The elements are present as a key value pair. So suppose I wanted to store like this, like I wanted to store like this, like 7 is Dhoni. I wanted to store the number like 11 or 12 is Kohli, or 13 is Sachin. Like that, I wanted to store the elements based on the, suppose this is your roll number and then the name of the person. So this is nothing but your keys. These are nothing but your keys. These are nothing but your values. Okay. Here keys can be like, keys should be unique. So keys should not be duplicate. It should be unique. Whereas the values can be duplicate. The values can be duplicate. So keys can be unique. The values can be duplicate. So in the case of map, we will store the data in the form of key value pairs. Until this point clear, guys? Until this point clear? Until this point clear? What is a map? Yes. So we'll store the elements in the form of key value pairs. Okay. So if you can see the program now, so basically how you will be storing in the case of your map is, there are like two kinds of map are there. HashMap, linked HashMap majorly. Okay, there were like two implementations were there, HashMap, linked HashMap. In the case of HashMap, we'll be creating an object of HashMap, and the backend again, it will follow the hashing algorithm itself, hash table itself, but the values we can store it up in the form of key value pairs. So you need to use put method here for storing the first one key and the next one value data. Okay, then key data. So like that you can store up the elements. Then if you print also, it will print all the elements. So if you can see, it will print all these things. Okay, in the case of a asset. Okay, then like if you wanted to retrieve, like if you wanted to print the elements, like there are like other methods are also there. So they were like, if you wanted to get the values only, you can go with the HM like these values, only the values you wanted to print it up in a set or in any collection. You can go with the values method. If you wanted to print only the keys if you wanted to print, you can print this as well. And then if you wanted to iterate over it, you need to use the same iterator. You need to use this iterator method. Then as next, same as next. Then while you are retrieving the next element, you need to retrieve it as a type of map.entry, because each value, what is there, this each value is nothing but your entry. This each value is nothing but your entry. So because of that reason, you need to retrieve as an entry only. Okay, each value is nothing but your entry. Okay, so how you will be retrieving as a type of entry, as a type of entry. Okay, so then you can get the get name, get key. You can print it up accordingly. Get key, data.get key, you like this type, data.get key, data.get value. Okay, like that you can iterate over the elements and you can print it up. Okay, in the case of your hash map, in the case of your hash map, the same applies for linked hash map as well. But the thing is, the data will be in the form of how you have inserted, like that only you will get it up. But here, if you see the output, you're getting first as 18 Kohli, but what you have inserted in the starting, you have inserted Sachin, but what you're getting Kohli. Means what is happening here, the order is not maintained here. But in the case of linked hash map, same like your linked asset, the order is maintained. So these are nothing but your collections sign along with the map. Okay, so I think the concept is clear. So once you go to these nodes and once you observe these programs, this code will be available in the GitHub. So once you observe it, you'll get a more clarity. Once you practice by yourself all the methods, that will be an assignment for today. Like practice all the methods that were there present in the collection, so you'll get a good understanding on the collections. Okay. So the only thing that how you will get familiar or how you will be proficient in Java means once you practice, once you have an idea on all the library methods, once you are able to use like most of the methods in the case of your Java library, then you will be proficient in the case of your Java. Okay. So until this point clear, can I move to the next concept? So next concept, exception handling. Next concept, exception handling. So can I get a quick heads up, guys? Are you clear with the collections to some extent? Yes, to some extent. If you are clear with the collections, just get a quick heads up. Can I get a quick heads up that you are clear? Yes, yes. Nice, good. So basically, exception handling in the sense. So what is an exception? So suppose if you are doing like this, system dot out dot println, if you're doing like this 1 by 0. Okay, so what is output, guys? What is output? What is output? If you're doing like this, what is output? 1 by 0. You'll get a infinity or undefined, right? You'll get an infinity or undefined. So means like in the case of C++, if you're doing this, it will stop also. It will the compiler will stop as well, because undefined means it will not be able to understand and will result in the runtime error. So in the case of C++ and C, the compiler will stop. But here it will result in runtime error here as well. It will result in runtime error here as well. But the thing is, here the compiler will not stop. This runtime error only is nothing but your exception. So here it will just give that exception. What is that exception? It will just give it up. So what is that exception, guys? It is arithmetic exception. Okay, so it will give just exception as occurred. This arithmetic exception has occurred. Compiler will not stop. This is only nothing but your exception. Okay, so exception is nothing but your runtime error. So during execution, if you are getting any error, so that is nothing but your runtime error. Okay, so what is happening means when the exception has occurred. So I will directly jump into the exception stuff. So this is all theory. Like once go through this, then exception stuff. So exception is nothing but your runtime error. So there were like three kinds of exceptions are there, guys: checked exceptions, unchecked exceptions, errors. Okay, so checked exceptions in the sense the top class. Suppose if you can see the top class of your exceptions is, are you able to see the image? Are you able to see the image? Yes. So the top class of your exceptions is object class. For every class in Java, the top class is object class, and for every class, or all the exceptions, the top class is throwable class. And then we have the exceptions, then we have the errors. For all the exceptions, the top class is exception class, and then we have the checked exceptions, then we have the unchecked exceptions. Okay, so checked exceptions, the checked exceptions, check means who need to take care, means programmer needs to definitely take care. The system won't be taking care, the programmer needs to take care. Okay, the checked exceptions should be taken care by the programmer, whereas unchecked exceptions, the system will automatically take care. Unchecked exception, the system will automatically take care. You need not to worry. You can also take care to define your user defined messages. Like you should not pass 1 by 0, or you should not pass null like this. Like this, if you wanted to print user defined messages, you can go with the unchecked exceptions. Okay, then we have the errors here. So errors is nothing but they were like hardware errors. We cannot resolve those. So stack overflow error, virtual machine error, out of memory error, these are like related to your hardware errors. Okay, so checked exceptions, who will take care, guys? The checked exceptions, who will take care? Who should take care? Basically, the programmer should take care. Okay, whereas unchecked exceptions is taken care by the system automatically by your Java system itself automatically. You can also take care to print user defined messages. Okay, in the case of checked exceptions, we have IO exception. When this exception occurs, when you're working with the file system. Then we have the SQL exception. When you're working with the databases, this exception will occur. Then we have the class not found exception. When the class is not found, when the particular class is not there in the memory, we'll get the checked exceptions. Then we have unchecked exceptions. Unchecked exceptions is nothing but arithmetic exception when it will occur when you're working with the 1 by 0. Arithmetic exception will occur when when you're working on the null values. When you're doing some operations on the null values, you'll get the null pointer exception. Then array index out of bounds exception, a string index out of bounds exception. Suppose in the array you declare the size as 10 only. You're inserting at the 11th index. Is it possible, guys, to insert at the 11th index? Is it possible? Array index out of bounds exception. Is it possible? Can I get a quick heads up? My array size is just 10. I'm inserting at the 11th position. No, it is not possible. So in that case, I will get the array index out of bounds exception. Okay, so these are nothing but a checked and unchecked exceptions. Okay, so basically why exception handling is needed, or why we need to handle the exceptions means, so basically like suppose there are like 10 statements are there, guys. In statement 5, the exception has occurred. In statement 5, the exception has occurred. So immediately this 6 to 10 will be executed now, or will not be executed. Can I get a quick answer? Can I get a quick answer on this? If suppose at statement 5, the exception has occurred, and statement 6 to 10 will be executed or will not be executed? Not executed. Okay, great. Any other answers? No. Any yes answers? No. Yes, correct. So this statement 1 to 5 will be executed, but this statement 6 to 10 will not be executed because here exception has occurred. So exception leads to termination of the program, total termination of the program. When a specific exception has occurred, it will result in the termination of your program, termination of your application as well. Immediately your application flow will stop. Okay, so for that reason, we have this exception handling concept is there to maintain the normal flow of the bridge. Suppose at statement 5, I have handled that exception by myself. Okay, then statement 6 to 10 will be executed or will not be executed. Suppose I've handled the exception here, then statement 6 to 10 will be executed or will not be executed? Will be executed. So that is the reason why we are going with the exception handling. We are going with the exception handling concept. Okay, when some exception has occurred, if you have handled the exception, then the other statements will be thoroughly executed. Okay, so how to handle the exception, sir? If you ask me, what is the need of exception to maintain the normal flow of the application or to handle runtime errors? How to handle exceptions, sir? If you ask me, there are like 5 keywords are there: try, catch, throw, throws, finally. Try, catch, throw, throws, finally. The first one is try block. So try block. In the case of try block, inside the try block, you'll be writing the exception code, like way in which code the exception is generated. That code you'll be writing inside the try block, and then the catch block will be able to handle it. So try block must be followed by either catch block or finally block. Okay, the try block must be followed by either catch block or finally block. Okay, so suppose I'm writing like this. So I'm writing a try block here. Okay, then I'm writing a catch block here. So what I should do, I will be writing some code. Sysout I'll be writing some code. Sysout 1 by 0. Okay. Then the catch block, I'll be writing okay, exception has occurred. Exception has occurred. So this try block must be followed by either catch block exception has occurred. So in this catch block, you'll be writing your exception as well. What exception it should throw? It is throwing that exception, you can write it up as well. That specific exception it is throwing, then only it will be able to handle it up. Okay, that specific exception type, you need to definitely write it up inside the try block. Okay, so basically what is happening now, suppose if you are removing this, see, you'll get an error here. You'll get an error here. See, you're getting an error as finally to complete block statements. So this try block must be followed by either finally block, you can use it up here. Either finally block, you can use it up here. Okay, either finally block, you can use it up, or you should use the catch block. Or you should go with the catch block. Now, can you guess the output, guys? Can you guess the output of this program? Can you guess the output of this program? So if you can see, the output is exception has occurred. Exception has occurred. Okay. So like this, you can go it up. Okay. Can I write it up here instead of arithmetic exception? Can I write like this? Is it possible? Can I write like this? Is it possible? Is it possible or not possible? You can write like this as well, because this is a parent exception class. You can write either the specific exception class or parent exception class as well. Okay, now if you can see, the same thing will happen. Okay, then if suppose if I'm removing this, okay, then now what is output, guys? Now what is output? Whether the program will stop or something, it will print it on the screen. So if you can see here, it will print like this: exception in red, arithmetic exception by 0, because it will, this is a checked exception. This is unchecked exception. This will be taken care automatically by the programmer itself. Suppose if you see the diagram here, in unchecked exception, there is an arithmetic exception. So because of that reason, what will happen? Either if you handle also, if you don't handle also, who will take care, sir, means this will be taken care automatically by the system itself. It will only handle it. But in the case of checked exception, you need to definitely handle it up. The program will stop. But in the case of this unchecked exceptions, the system will automatically take care. Okay, going to the next exception demo. Can I guess the output of this program? Can you please tell the output of this program? Can you please tell the output of this program? Array index out of bounds. Okay. Two answers on array index out of bounds. Any other answers, guys? Please participate. Please participate if you know the output of this program. Any other answers, guys? Any other answers, students? Any other answers? Array index out of bounds. Okay. Okay, parent exception. Okay, parent exception. One answer on parent exception. Okay, any other answers again? Okay, so let me execute this up. Now, if you can see what is happening, array index out of bounds exception occurs. This code is been executed, and then rest of the code it is executing after the catch block. What is there? That it is been executing. Okay, so what is happening here? So I will declare the array as 5 only, but what I am doing, the 5 in the sense 0 to 4, right? 0 to n minus 1, the index will be, but I'm inserting at the 6th position. So array of 5. So in this case, what will happen? It will result in the array index out of bounds exception at this 7th line. Immediately, what will happen? It will jump, it will look out for the array index out of bounds. So this one, I'm writing multiple catch blocks here. You can write multiple catch blocks as well for specific exceptions. So see here, you're writing arithmetic exception here. No, this is not an arithmetic exception. So it will move to the array index out of bounds exception. It will print array index out of bounds exception occurs. Suppose this block is not there. This block is not there. Can you tell me now what is output? Can you tell me what is output now? Can you tell me what is output now? Parent exception occurs and then rest of the code, right? Now if you can see, parent exception occurs, rest of the code. Suppose, so like that, suppose that the specific exception is not there, then it will be handled by the exception type. Okay, if array index out of bounds exception type is not there, it will be handled by the exception type. Okay, if that specific exception is there, it will be handled by that specific exception type itself. Can you tell the output of this now? Like I will be writing up here on this line. Can you tell the output of this now? Can you tell the output of this now? So now, any other answers, guys? Now, can you tell the output of this? I have written the exception on the top. I have written the exception on the top. No, Arita, no, wrong. Any other answers? Compile time error. Okay, let's see. Run as Java application. Then if you can see on the screen, you'll get a compile time error here. Unresolved compilation problems, unreachable catch block. Okay, so basically what is the mistake here means you should write multiple catch blocks from specific exception type to general exception type, but you should not write like this. On the top only, if you're writing general exception type, what will happen means all exceptions will be handled here only, and it will not be able to see these blocks. Either you should remove it, or you should reorder it, Okay, either you should remove them or you should reorder it. Okay, then it will work. Okay, means what is order now? If you're writing multiple catch blocks, it should be from specific exception to general exception type. Okay, so this is nothing but your try catch block, try with multiple catch blocks. Okay, so now going to the demo 3. So then we have the throw keyword in the sense here what will happen here when the code I am writing, based on the code exception is generated, right? Suppose if you're writing beyond the index, you're getting array index out of bounds exception. If you're writing like this, you're getting the arithmetic exception. But in the case of throw block, so by your code, it is generating the exception. But in the case of throw block, where it will be useful, sir, means like see what I am doing in this code. Like I'm using the check age method. In the check age method, what I'm writing, age less than 18. If age is less than 18 also, what I'm doing, what I'm asking him to do, I wanted to throw class not found exception. So class not found exception, when it will occur generally? When the class is not there in the memory, class not found exception will occur. But what I am doing here, if age is less than 18 also, I want him to throw class not found exception itself. Right? So if I wanted to throw the explicitly by myself, if I wanted to throw any exception, I can go with the throw keyword. Okay, I can go with the throw keyword. So if I'm giving the age as less than 18, it will throw class not found exception. Like that I am giving access denied, you must be at least 18 years old. If I'm giving the input as greater than 18, if I'm giving the input as greater than 18, I'm printing like this. You're old enough. Okay. So like that, if I wanted to throw the exception by myself based on my code, I can go with the throw keyword. Then throws keyword is like defining on the top along the method signature. I'm defining that this method, I'm giving a warning that this method will throw, this code will throw class not found exception. Please handle it while you're calling it. While you're calling it, either you handle it using try catch or either you handle it using throws keyword as well. Like that, if I wanted to define a warning, I can go with the throws keyword. Clear until this point? Clear until this point? So basically, if I wanted to throw the exception explicitly based on the code, I can go with the throw keyword. Okay. If I wanted to define the exception, if I wanted to define the warning for that exception, I can go with the throws keyword. So that is the difference between the throw and throws. Like that also you can handle the exception. Okay. So so because of that only, here if you can see in your library also, you will get like in your library also, you will be along the method signature, you will be finding out these throws mostly, because we are giving a warning when you call this method, handle it up, this code will throw this exception, handle it up. Like that, I'm giving a warning before itself, right? That is nothing but a throw and throws keyword. Clear until this point? Yes. Can I get a quick heads up? Clear with the throw and throws? Okay. So now final block, when it will be executed, guys, either if the exception occurs also, if the exception does not occur also, finally block will be executed. Okay. Now after the try block, I can write finally or catch block. So if the exception occur also, if the exception does not occur also in your code, the finally block will be executed. Suppose I'm writing like this, 4 30/2. Now what is the output, guys, for this program? 30/2, 4. What is the output now? So if you can see run as Java application, then if you can see here, array index out of bounds exception occurs, rest of the, no, it should not happen, right? Okay, here I am getting that array index out of bounds exception. Okay, A of 4. Okay, now if you can see on the board, on your screen, 15 rest of the code means the finally block is executed. Now the exception has not occurred, so catch block is not executed, but finally block is executed. If the exception occurs also, the finally block will be executed. So that is the use of your finally block. Okay, so that is nothing but your finally block. Clear until this point? Yes. Clear until this point? Yes. Can I get a quick heads up? Yes. The next one, the next concept, I'm done with the exception handling. The next concept, is multi-threading, guys. So if you wanted to execute multiple threads at the same time, like your games, like your PUBG game or some other asphalt game, there will be multiple cars, right? So each car is nothing but a each car is nothing but a thread. Okay, they will be running multiple threads at the same time. So that is nothing but a multi-threading. You can create multi-threading based applications using Java, using this concept, that is multi-threading. Okay, so how to create a multi-threading application, sir? If you ask me, you need to extend either thread class, or implement runnable interface. Okay, either you need to extend thread class or either you need to implement runnable interface. Like this, you can create a threads in Java. Okay, like that you can create the threads in Java. Okay, so each thread is nothing but a smallest unit of code. You can think it as a smallest unit of a code. Like you have your PUBG game or your Asphalt 6 game, right? In that there will be having multiple cars. So each car, so every car, suppose one is driving the car, the other cannot drive the car. They can run at the same time, right? Here I've opened multiple applications. See, Google Chrome I've opened Photos, I've opened WhatsApp. So means I'm opening multiple applications. Means one application is telling you open that, you cannot open the other. No, right? I can open multiple applications at the same time, right? So, so that is nothing but your multi-threading. I can create multi-threading using extends thread class or implements runnable interface. Okay. So now if you observe the programs here, there are like multi-threading demos were also there. You can see this program. So every thread, so this now multi-threading demo class will act like a thread. So when you extend it from the thread class, so whatever code you're writing, whatever code you wanted to write, what this thread needs to execute, that code you should be writing inside the run method itself. That code you should be running inside the run method itself. And then what I am doing, I'm just printing that ID of the thread, ID of that thread basically. Okay, ID of that thread basically. So now what will happen means for each thread it will print out the ID. So like that you can create it up. So basically I'm printing that current thread dot get ID. Whatever thread code that you want to execute, you should be writing inside the run method itself. And then you need to create the object of that thread, create the object of the thread. Then you need to call start method. This start method will implicitly call the run method. Okay. So now if you see the output of this program, you see the output of this program, I'm extending it from thread class. I'm overriding the run method. This run method is present inside your thread class. I'm overriding it up. Then I'm using try catch block. Okay. Then what I am doing in the main method, I'm creating an object of it for 8 times. I'm writing a loop. I'm creating an object of it for 8 times. I'm calling it up simultaneously. So now if you observe the output of this program, if you observe the output of this program, see, all the threads are running simultaneously. I've created around 8 threads. I've created around 8 threads. Those IDs will be implemented by the system itself. Okay, those IDs. So is my voice clear? Is my voice clear? Basically, so after the video. Okay, so is my voice clear? It's lagging. Okay. So I'm running on inverter actually. The power cut at my. Is it fine now, guys? Is it fine now? Is it fine now? The voice is clear? Okay, sure. So let me know, guys, like if you are facing any issue in the voice, like if it is breaking or nothing, like immediately let me know because I'm running on inverter actually. So because of that, there may be some bandwidth issue at my end. So only I've switched off the video as well. Okay. So, okay, let me continue. Okay, so here what I am doing means I'm creating an object of the thread for 8 times. So means 8 threads were created here. 8 threads were created. Then I'm calling the start method. This start method will implicitly call the run method and it will run the same threads. So only because of that, what is happening? It is creating 8 threads. It is running 8 threads at the same time. Okay, so this is nothing but a simple multi-threading based program. Okay, in the same way, I can also implement the runnable interface. I can also implement the runnable interface. I can the same, I can call it up as well using the run method. Okay, so instead of extends thread, I'm going with the implements runnable here. Implements runnable. This is another way of creating the thread. The same, the program is still the same, but the thing is why we are going with runnable means if we are like what is the use of interface basically to implement multiple inheritance, right? So if I'm having another class, suppose I wanted to extend some other class, like I wanted to extend array list class. or some other class if I wanted to extend, I can extend it up. But when you're going with the thread, you cannot extend multiple classes at the same time. Okay, to achieve that multiple inheritance, if you wanted to achieve multiple inheritance along with the thread, so in that case, you can go with the runnable interface. Okay, so clear until this point? Yes, clear until this point? So how to create the threads, right? So once go through this demos, I'll be pushing this code into GitHub. I'll be sharing the GitHub link with you. So once observe these demos after the class, so it'll be a bit clear. Okay. So then we have the last concept for the day. Then we have the last concept for the day, that is streams or file handling. Okay, streams or file handling. So basically, file handling or streams. Okay, so there are like two cases of streams are there, guys. Like if you wanted to send the data, like you did you anytime copy the file from one location to another location? Did you anytime copy the file? Did you did that thing or image from one location to another location in File Explorer? Yes, can I get a quick response? Or copy some text from one location to another location? Yes. Can I get a quick response? Am I clear? My voice is audible? Yes. So how that is happening? Did you like you have uploaded the file inside your resume as well? Like suppose you're applying for a job post, you'll upload your resume, right? You'll get an upload button, you're applying your resume, and it will parse your resume as well. Like what is your name, education details, it will automatically come inside your form as well in your career site, right? So how that is happening? Did you think anytime this concept, how that is happening in the backend? So if I go with the Java, if you're implementing a Java application, that concept happens to streams. That concept happens to streams. So basically, when you are giving the data, so when you are uploading some file to the Java application, suppose you went to the career site, you open some infosys.com or tcs.com, and you're applying for a job. First, it will ask some upload button, right? In this upload button, you will upload your resume, right? When you upload the resume, immediately will parse it up, all the things. So what will happen is to this Java application, you're giving the resume, immediately what is happening, it is creating some stream between your resume. It is creating some stream between your resume, and your Java application, your Naukari.com. Okay, it is creating a stream between your resume and your Naukari.com, and it is reading all the data from your resume and it is putting it on your site. So this one I will call it as stream concept. This one I will call it as stream. So there were like two streams. How many types of streams are there, guys? If you know, how many types of streams are there? How many types of streams are there? Can anyone answer if you know it already? So they were like two kinds of streams are there, two types of streams. Okay. So the first one is input stream. The first one is input stream. Okay. To read the data from the file, I require input stream. Okay. To write the data from the file, to write the data from Java application to file to somewhere I wanted to write the data or store the data inside a file, I require an output stream. Okay, to read the data, I require a input stream. To write the data, I require a output stream. So basically, if you wanted to read the data from file, you require input stream. Basically, file input stream class is there. That for that you need to create the object, and you can use the methods inside that class, and you can read the data from that file. And we have the output stream as well. To write the data from the file, which is file output stream class is needed. File output stream class is needed. Okay, to write the data to store the data into the file. Okay, so there were like two kinds of streams are there, input stream and an output stream. Clear until this point? Yes. Clear until this point? Can I get a good sir? Yes. So I'm directly jumping onto the program part. Okay. So file handling, file input stream demo. So to read the data from the file, I require a file input stream. So I am creating an object of this file input stream. This input stream and output stream classes are all a part of which package, if you ask me, java.io package. Okay, java.io package. So because of that reason, I'm importing import java.io.file input stream. I'm creating an object of file input stream. I'm taking a location of the file where I wanted to read, from which file I wanted to read. I'm taking the location of that file. And then since there will be multiple characters inside that file, I'm going with the while loop. Then I'm calling read method. I'm calling read method until it is empty. When it is empty, it will stop. Okay, until it is empty. End of the, this -1 means it has reached end of the file. It has reached end of the file. So like until it is the reading is done, I'm running the while loop and I'm printing it up on the screen. I'm printing up on the screen basically. Okay, so this read method and this close methods will throw an exception, like basically file IO exceptions. So because of that reason, I'm going with the parent exception type itself. Okay, so this is a simple program on your file input stream. Okay, to read the data from the file. Okay, then to write the data into the file, I require a file output stream. Instead of file input stream, I require a file output stream. I'll be pasting the location of that file. Then I'm pasting some inputs. I'm pasting some string into that. I'm storing some string into that file. Okay. Then I'm getting that I'm getting the data using get to bytes. I'm reading each and every letter. I'm storing it in the byte array. Then I'm writing that byte array directly into the file output stream. Okay, so this is nothing but your writing of the string. Suppose if I run this program in this location, the D location, the D drive, I'm putting out this file. I'm pasting some. I'm taking the name of that file, basically test out or something. Okay, so now if you can say, if I run this program now, if you can see success. Okay, now like I will go to that location in the D drive. In the D drive, there is a text file, test out file is created. In this test out file, see what it is storing. It is storing what? Welcome to day 3. Okay. Now if I change it up, suppose if I change this to something like good evening. Good evening. We are at the end of the session. End of session. So if you can see the output, guys, if you can see the output, initially it is what? It is welcome to day 3. So initially, if you can see the output on the file, it is welcome to day 3. Now I will run this program again. I will run this program again. So see, it is success. Now if you see the output inside your file, again I will open that file. Again I will open that file. See what it is printing. Good evening. We are at the end of the session. Before, what it is there in the same file? It is there. It has welcome to day 3, right? Welcome to day 3. But now what is there? Good evening. We are at the end of the session. Right? Are you understanding, guys? Are you understanding? Yes. This writing into a file. Are you understanding? Yes. So file output stream, basically it writes into a file. Okay. So what is happening here? You're overriding that we are at day 3, and it is overriding like it is striking of that sentence. It is removing that sentence and it is printing this thing. Suppose I will read it out like, I will change this up to students listening carefully and responding quickly. responding quickly, accept. So what is there, guys, initially in the file? What is there? Initially, what is there in the file? In the file, what is there? Initially, it is there like we are at the end of the session, right? Good evening, we are at the end of the session. But now what is there? What I am wanted to store now? Students are listening carefully and responding quickly, answer. So now if you run this program, so what is the output initially of this file? Good evening, we are at the end of the session. Now what I will do, I will run this program now. See, it is success. Then if you can see, if you close this up, and then if you open the file again, see, it is over. It has removed that sentence and it is been printing this sentence, restoring this sentence. Students are listening carefully and responding quickly, answer. Right? So really, guys, you're performing too good in the class. Like you're listening to each and every question or each and every sentence. Perform the same spirit throughout this program. You'll definitely get something fruitful. Okay, in the short time. So like this, it is storing it up. Okay, then if I wanted to read it up, I will directly read it up from the application itself now. I will not open the file. Suppose I wanted to now what I will do, I will remove this up and I will write another thing. So GitHub link, I will share it up. GitHub link will be shared in the next 2 minutes. In the next 2 minutes. Okay. Now I don't want to store it in the file. Like I wanted to run this program, but the thing is initially what is the text there? The text is this one, right? Now what I'm doing, I'm changing the text to this text, right? So now what I'll be doing, I will run this program now, but now I will not open the file up, but I will read it from the Java application, Java program itself. Okay, it is success now. So now what I'll be doing, I will go to the file input stream. This will read up the program, right? What is there in that file? The same location I have given here also. That will read it up every character and it will print it on the console. So now if you run this program, file input stream program, so see, GitHub link will be shared in the next 2 minutes that it is reading from the file. Since in the file I have stored this thing, I've overridden the previous text and I have printed this sentence. Now what I am doing, like if you open this file also, the same text will be there. From there only it is reading onto your console. So clear, guys, until this point? Clear until this point? Yes? Clear until this point? Yes? Yeah. So this is nothing but an input stream and output stream programs. Okay. Then I have one program as well, copy and paste image. So this program, what it will do means it will copy your image and paste it in another location. Okay, it will copy your image and paste it in another location. In constraint of time, I will be giving this as your assignment, as your homework to practice this program. Okay, so please put your location of your image here, and where you wanted to copy also, that location also please keep it up. There it will be copied. Okay, through this program. I'll be pushing this code in the GitHub. You can get it from there. Okay, so this is a last program to copy and paste your images. Okay, so can I get a quick heads up if you have understood the concept? What is input stream? Can I get a quick heads up while I'm opening the GitHub link? So can I get a quick heads up? What is like? Can I get a quick answer on what is input stream and what is output stream, or what is file input stream and what is file output stream? Okay. In the meanwhile, I will open the GitHub link. In the meanwhile, I will open the GitHub link. So we have created our repository, right, on that day, on yesterday's class. In the last, we have created our repository like Project Excellence, EDL batch, ExcelR projects. Okay, so this is the GitHub link. I will give it to you. So see here, guys, like here, yes, we can read from the file using input stream, file input stream, and we can write into the file using file output stream. We can also write the images. We can also read the images as well. Okay, so this is a GitHub link. Like once you open that link, check whether it is opening for all and give a quick heads up that it is opening. And once you open that up, like I have created multiple folders here, guys. Like every day, what we are doing, the projects, those will be those will be there here. Okay, Core Java Day 2 Oops Vehicle System, Student Management CRUD Console. Yesterday, what we have discussed. Then the other projects will also be coming today. Like the other projects, once I have pushed the code, you'll be getting these two projects as well: collection practice and day 3 concepts practice. Okay, these two projects you'll be getting up in the GitHub, and then you have the session notes folder as well here. All the notes will be available here itself. Okay, all the notes what I am discussing in the class, that notes along with the images, all will be available here itself. Okay, then you have your assignments, right? That assignments along with the day 2, day 3, like that, every assignment will be available here in this folder. Okay, you can go through it. Okay, assignments and the challenges and interview questions, etc., all will be available in the assignments folder. Okay, you can directly go through this. Okay, this is about the GitHub folder. Okay, then coming back to the concept part. So today, as per the agenda, we have completed the first part, that is data structures, collections, exception handling, and multi-threading. So tomorrow we will continue this part and then we'll jump into the Spring and Spring Boot stuff. Okay. Then tomorrow, like today, I've discussed the concepts only. So majorly I've discussed on the concepts itself. Okay. So tomorrow I will directly go with the project-based coding itself. Okay. So since the core Java is done, so until this point, the core Java is done. So since the core Java is done, I will directly jump into the project part itself from tomorrow. So before that, I want you to do something. So yesterday assignment, if you have not done, please do it up. And they were like student management code is there. You'll be able to easily understand since the concepts are clear. So please copy that code or clone that code and practice that code. Student management console, what is there on the GitHub. So just copy that code or you'll be able to easily understand that code, a simple code. Okay, please copy that code and understand that code. The first assignment is for today's student management app. And if suppose yesterday's assignments are not completed, you can complete that yesterday assignment as well. Okay, I'll be sharing some interview questions over your notes, over your assignment tab itself. So do those interview questions as well. Okay, then I require some installations from your side by tomorrow. Okay, some installations as well. The first installation I require is only one installation, that is MySQL installation. Okay, MySQL installation in your system by tomorrow. Okay, so that you can do this JDBC code, you can do this SQL code, and we can continue with servlets as well. And make sure you have installed your Eclipse as this version itself, Eclipse for Java and web developers. Okay, so these two things are required for tomorrow's class. Okay, so MySQL installation, once I will show it up on the screen. So directly you can type MySQL download here. Okay, MySQL download here. Go to this tab, MySQL downloads. Okay, MySQL downloads, MySQL website. This is the MySQL website. Then on the top, then go to this tab, MySQL community GPL downloads. Okay, MySQL community GPL downloads. Then if it is Windows, MySQL installer for Windows. Okay, go inside the MySQL installer for Windows. Choose this version, choose the second one, that is 353.7 MB. The second one, you can download it up, then install it up. While then after it is downloaded, double click on the exe file, double click on the exe file, then click on next, install. But while installing, I want these products to be ready in your system. So I want click on this products tab as well. It should be like MySQL server should be there. MySQL workbench you need to install. We need to do that. So MySQL workbench, then MySQL console command line, you can go with this thing. But these two things are mandatory, guys. MySQL server, while you're installing, these two products are mandatory. And remember your password as well. Remember your password, set some password as root123 or root, but remember your password as well, what you have set. Okay, for working with the JDBC or for working with the Spring Data JPA, this is needed. Okay, root123 or something, you can set it up. Username, keep it as default only, that is root. Okay, so please make sure you're doing this stuff by tomorrow. Okay, so clear until this point? Yes. So if you are still not clear, you can rewatch this video, rewatch this part. Otherwise, you can go to the YouTube and search MySQL Workbench download. Then you'll get a clear video there. Follow the video and follow the steps. Okay. So in the YouTube, if you search MySQL Workbench download, you'll get a clear video explaining the same. You can directly download in your system. MySQL Workbench download for Windows. Okay, and you can also follow the YouTube version as well. Okay, these things are needed by tomorrow. Please make sure you're doing those things. Okay, so on that note, I'm done for the day. So if there are any questions in the next 2 minutes, you can ask. I'll be readily available. Otherwise, we are good to close the call. So any questions, guys? If there are any questions, this notes as
Yeah, so we'll wind up for the day. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. We'll meet again by tomorrow at 7 p.m. Good night, everyone.